Man!
This Oshawott is a complete waste of my time.
Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in today's class, we'll deep dive into the history of Ash's Oshawott. Detailing all his quirky traits, romantic outings, epic battles, and heartfelt moments with Ash. This video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Prior to his debut, Oshawott lived as one of the starters that Professor Juniper offered to new trainers in Unova. As shown in the Shadow of Zekrom, he desperately wanted a trainer who'd love him dearly. Ash thought him adorable, so Oshawott latched onto him after Trip opted for Snivy. The kindness Ash afforded motivated Oshawott to quit being a starter and leave the lab to follow him. When Team Rocket got in the way, he helped from a distance and saved Pikachu and enter Iris and Axew. Thereafter, Oshawott joined Ash's team after rejecting Iris in a Sandile Gusher of Change. His rejection of Iris is ironic, as she was one of the few girls who actually found him appealing.
You're so cute!
Juniper blessed Ash and Oshawott's union, as she believed them destined for each other. Like Squirtle, Totodile, and Corphish, the Sea Otter largely served as comic relief. After capture, for instance, he relaxed, reveled in his cuteness, and envied Pikachu. When push came to shove, however, he would often transform into a hero to save his friends. He was often on the scene because his wish to be Ash's favorite led him to summon himself without warning. He regularly tried to show off for Ash, but his immaturity often resulted in embarrassment. In the Battle Club and Tepig's Choice, for example, his fear of Dewott smashed his goal to replace Pikachu.
Well, go figure.
Despite Oshawott's doubt in his own abilities, Ash believed him destined for greatness. To prove it, Ash used him against Silence Pansage at the Striaton Gym. The battle took place in Triple Leaders, Team Threats, and Dreams by the Yardful. Ash massaged his ego and lent him confidence, so Oshawott fought with epic conviction. He also fought with honor because his Scalchop gave him courage. Its ability to stop attacks like Solar Beam and Bullet Seed made it his most valuable possession. The Scalchop squashed Pansage's lead, but its subsequent loss revealed Oshawott's greatest weakness. Whenever without the Scalchop, Oshawott became anxious, frenzied, and consumed by thoughts of helplessness. Luckily, his anguish at the loss didn't last long, as Ash used Geometry to reunite him with his precious. Once he got it back, he used Razor Shell to beat Pansage and earn Ash the Trio Badge. The battle's favorable outcome led him to become more confident as a battler. He believed so much in his own abilities that he asked to battle Snivy, and Snivy plays hard to catch. Unfortunately, his Scalchop wasn't enough to compensate for his lack of experience. Snivy dodged Water Gun, peppered him with Attract, and triumphed with Vine Whip. Thereafter, he fell into a major slump, likely because he valued eating more than fighting. While Darumaka torched him in saving Darmanitan from the bell, Trip's Tranquil beat him into submission in a rival battle for Club Champ, and Minccino tickled him in Minccino Neat and Tidy. At the Nicrine Gym, the losing streak continued in the battle according to Lenora. He was roared onto the field, trapped by Mean Look, hit by Low Kick, and zapped by Thunderbolt. He nearly turned the tables with Water Gun, but eventually fell in defeat. In anticipation of the rematch, Oshawott trained, massively upgraded his speed, and learned Aqua Jet. In the rematch at the Nicrine Gym, Oshawott withstood Watchog's Mean Look and used Razor Shell. Since he couldn't control Aqua Jet, Watchog launched Confuse Ray and tore through his Scalchop. Oshawott ultimately tied the battle with Aqua Jet, but he only did so out of sheer luck. After the match, he furthered his image as a strong Pokemon by defending Scraggy from Galvantula, and Scraggy hatched to be wild. It's sad to say, but the writers rewarded Oshawott's stint as a hero with a series of unfortunate events. Burgundy called him smelly in A Connoisseur's Revenge, a group of Ducklet burned him in Dancing with the Ducklet Trio, and Ash benched him at the Castelia Gym in Battling for the Love of Bug Types. Worst of all, Emolga manipulated his heart in Emolga the Irresistible and Emolga in the new Volt Switch. Helplessly in love with the Electric Opportunist, he intercepted one of her hearts from Attract, tried to save her from Swoobat, fell for her lie that she was bullied by Watchog, and tried to avenge her hardship. Calamity often surrounded Oshawott, but he always persevered as his Scalchop gave him strength. Thanks to the courage it afforded, he bravely fought Stefan's Blitzle and Oshawott's lost Scalchop. At the battle's start, he deflected Shockwave but failed to stop Flame Charge. After he hurt himself with Aqua Jet, he got hit by Double Kick and separated from his Scalchop. Losing it left him in a crazed state, so Ash and Stefan delayed the battle to a later time. Because Oshawott couldn't immediately find the shell, Ash helped him find a suitable replacement. A Joltik, Berry, and Metal Dish all failed to fill the void, so Silen's Dwebble fashioned him a massive Scalchop. He was grateful, but its massive weight presented a major issue. He was forced to train until he was strong enough to lift it on his back. It fell apart at the start of the rematch with Blitzle, but Oshawott held strong and called upon his training. He avoided Shockwave, landed Tackle, evaded Double Kick, dodged Flame Charge, and won with Aqua Jet. Even though Oshawott then found his Scalchop, the win proved he was a warrior in his own right. While Oshawott protects himself with a mighty shell, I defend myself with ExpressVPN. Our sponsor, ExpressVPN, is the ultimate service for defending your data from hackers and advertisers. It's also the best way to shield yourself from the prying eyes of internet service providers. ISPs can both sell your data to advertisers and see every website you visit, even when you're using incognito mode. ExpressVPN protects you from this by rerouting and encrypting your traffic, making you effectively invisible. Another benefit of rerouting your traffic to a different server is that it lets you change your online location. By tricking Netflix into thinking that you're in another country, you can watch TV shows and movies outside your territory. If you're a fan of film and TV, I can't imagine a better, more cost-effective way to exponentially grow all your options of things to watch. Find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/AlexSilver or click the link in the description below. And now back to Oshawott's history. Despite Oshawott's growing power, his lack of control over Aqua Jet severely limited his potential. During the battle with Tripp's Timburr and Ash and Tripp's third battle, Tripp explained that his inability to control the move's trajectory stemmed from the fact that he wouldn't open his eyes while underwater. After Oshawott secured a lucky win against Timburr, Ash helped him face his fear in facing fear with eyes wide open. Unfortunately, Scraggy interrupted their training by provoking Fungus, a wild Pokemon who poisoned everyone in sight. As a result, Oshawott was forced to put his training on hold and look for Romeo weed to treat the poison. A wild Palpitoad and his Tympole army tried to impede his search, but he eventually succeeded. Not only did he secure the Romeo and vanquish the Tympole, but he also helped Ash catch Palpitoad. Palpitoad toppled Water Gun, fired off Supersonic, and used Mudshot, but Oshawott went out with Aqua Jet. He did so because he confronted his fears and opened his eyes underwater. From then on out, Oshawott never again had difficulty using Aqua Jet. Since he was more of a comic than a fighter, his later battles still ended with mixed results. He beat up an Emboar in the Victini films, but fell to Roggenrola and got to catch a Roggenrola. Aqua Jet did heavy damage to a Darmanitan owned by Bianca's father and Enter Elisa electrifying gym leader, but the move wasn't enough for Oshawott to overcome the overwhelming might of Fire Punch, Flame Charge, and Flare Blitz. Besides Darmanitan, Oshawott also lost to another fire type in Call for Brotherly Love. Chili's Pansear defeated him with Fire Punch, Flame Charge, and Solar Beam. Despite Oshawott's many losses, Ash used him at Clay's Dripvale Gym in battling the King of the Mines. Krokorok dug away from Aqua Jet, blinded him with Sandstorm, landed Bite, dodged Razor Shell, and connected with Stone Edge, but Oshawott cleaned his eyes, shot off Aqua Jet, and won with Razor Shell. Since the battle tired him out, he then lost a hard-fought battle to Clay's Palpitoad. Palpitoad shot through Water Gun, knocked his Scalchop aside, and slammed him into the ground.
Take a good rest.
Beyond battling, Oshawott also grew emotionally by forging deep friendships with Pikachu, Tepig, and Snivy. Tepig loved him like a brother, but it often got mad when Oshawott stole his food. Though Snivy also cared for Oshawott, she acted more like a big sister. Oshawott also bonded with Meowth in Beartick Mountain Feud. The two developed an unlikely friendship as they both loved to steal food. Hilariously, their friendship ended almost as soon as it began, as Oshawott tattled on Meowth, their victims. Besides having no moral qualm with thievery, Oshawott had a good soul within his devious demeanor. Whenever Ash required his help, he either released himself from his Pokeball or jumped to his aid. Examples of his support include dousing fires, thwarting Team Vanillite, and training Maractus. If Oshawott wasn't battling, palling around with his friends, or helping Ash, he was busy lusting after the ladies. As Brock's spiritual heir, he wooed Gothita and lost at the Stamp Rally, pursued George's Vanillux in Crisis at Ferocity Research, and competed for Purloin's affection in Purloin Sweet or Sneaky. Gothita reciprocated his advances, but Vanillux froze him solid, and Purloin ended up being a catfish.
Purloin's a guy.
The Pokemon Oshawott desired more than any other was the mythical singer Meloetta. As seen in All for the Love of Meloetta, his affection towards her led him to totally forget about Emolga. Unluckily, Piplup became his rival for Meloetta's affection in Piplup, Pansage, and a Meeting of the Times. Because they disagreed on who she most desired, their rivalry hit its stride in the expedition to Onix Island. It wasn't until Wild Onix threatened Meloetta that they put aside their differences and joined forces. In order to protect their queen, Oshawott fought at Piplup's side, learned Hydro Pump, and did major injury. By showing that he was more than just a love-struck clown, he earned both Meloetta's gratitude and Piplup's respect. In the rest of Oshawott and Piplup's appearances together, the two largely acted as friendly rivals. Together, they searched for Cubchoo and the mystery of the missing Cubchoo, defended their friends in Iris and the Rogue Dragonite, and shared a tearful goodbye in Goodbye Junior Cup Hello Adventure. Due to Piplup's departure, Oshawott had Meloetta all to himself and Meloetta in the Undersea Temple. Thanks to Oshawott's bad luck, however, she returned home in Univa's survival crisis. To rebound from her departure, he play-fought with Pignite in Beauty's Battling for Pride and Prestige, relaxed in Hot Springs in Mission Defeat Your Rival, and stole apples and lost at the League. His theft was unwelcome to the apple's owners, but the resulting scuffle served as great training. It was exactly what he needed to get ready for his Univa League debut in Cameron's Secret Weapon. In his one and only battle of the quarterfinals, he fought Hydreigon. He opened with Aqua Jet, activated Razor Shell, shrugged off Dragon Pulse, used another Razor Shell, and connected with Hydro Pump, but Hydreigon won out with Tri-Attack, Double Hit, and Dragon Rush. Because Oshawott left the league with no wins, he sought redemption and there's a new gym leader in town. His attempt was for naught as Sharon, Lenora's replacement as gym leader, beat him with his Herdier. Herdier evaded Hydro Pump, toppled Tackle, separated him from the Scalchop, and triumphed with Thunderfang. Following the battle's end, Oshawott proved he was still useful by providing utility support. He chased after pirates in the Pokemon Harbor Patrol, rehabilitated abused Pokemon in Secrets from Out of the Fog, and in Team Plasma in the Awakening Ceremony, showed N the power of friendship and fought off Team Plasma's Golurk. Once he arrived in the Decolore Islands, the rest of his adventures were filled with hilarity, romance, and fun. Whilst there, he feuded with Pignite, clashed with Team Rocket, reconciled with Meowth, and foolishly considered life as a sumo fighter.
I said what?
He also entered the Scalchop King competition in crowning the Scalchop King because he wanted to prove the awesomeness of his Scalchop and secure Queen Osharina's affection. Rivaling him for the Fair Maiden's hand were Meowth and a Dewott named Cesar. To pass the first 3 rounds, he expertly displayed his Scalchop, showed off his accuracy, and broke tiles. He would have passed the 4th round with just as much ease, but Osharina's beauty stifled Aqua Jet. Luckily, the judges disqualified Meowth, so Oshawott was the only Pokemon left to battle Cesar when it came time for the finals. Unlike when he summoned himself at the club battle, Oshawott entered the battle against his evolved form filled with conviction. In spite of that, however, Cesar was a major threat. Thanks to Cesar's superior strength, he beat back Aqua Jet and overpowered Hydro Pump. Despite the power discrepancy, however, Oshawott vanquished Surf with Aqua Jet. Cesar's owner Cadbury requested that the battle become a Scalchop-themed duel. Cesar took advantage of the request to gain the upper hand, but Oshawott's passion gave him the strength he needed to persevere. By combining Razor Shell with Aqua Jet, he demolished Cesar and won the tournament. It thrilled Oshawott to become king, but his happiness soured upon realizing the implications of his victory. Besides a lofty title, the win meant he would be forced to stay on the island over the course of his reign. It pained him to think about leaving Ash, but he forgot his sadness upon realizing that Osharina would be there to keep him company. Unfortunately, before he can embrace his prize, Osharina broke his heart by revealing her affection for Cesar. Her betrayal so devastated Oshawott that both his heart and Scalchop broke in two. As a result of the Scalchop's destruction, Oshawott was disqualified from the competition, stripped of his title, and forced back into Ash's arsenal. While most Pokemon would have never recovered from such abject humiliation, Oshawott bounced back only minutes later. His desire to love and be loved led him to fall head over heels for a Chinchino. It thrilled Ash for Oshawott to return to his side, but the two separated only a few episodes later in Dream Continues. Ash left Oshawott because he wanted to start fresh when he traveled to Kalos. As Oshawott's last act of the saga, he blasted off Team Rocket, settled at Oak's lab, and bid farewell. He briefly appeared in Pokemon Journeys, but it's currently unknown if he'll do anything more of major significance. Although it's possible he may one day return to become a Hisuian Samurott, I personally hope that he never evolves beyond his base form. He's simply too cute and adorable. Instead of waiting for his comeback, let's get to his battle record. Oshawott won against Jesse's Woobat, Silence Pansage, Stefan's Blitzle, Trip's Timburr, Tatsuki's Emboar, Wild Tympole, Ash's Palpitoad, Clay's Krokorok, Wild Onix, and Cesar the Dewott. He lost to Ash's Snivy, Wild Darumaka, Trip's Tranquil, Lenora's Watchog, Bianca's dad's Darmanitan, Chili's Pansear, Clay's Palpitoad, Cameron's Hydreigon, and Sharon's Herdier. His one and only tie was to Lenora's Watchog. Move-wise, Oshawott used Water Gun, Tackle, Razor Shell, Aqua Jet, and Hydro Pump. Even though Oshawott is no powerhouse, he's one of the funniest characters in all the anime. No matter how old I get, I don't think I'll ever stop laughing at his arrogance, gluttony, or romantic outings. There's no other Pokemon in Ash's arsenal who I'd more love than to get their own sitcom. Oshawott getting his own show is a bit of a pipe dream, so for now, class is adjourned. I'd like to extend a huge thanks to ExpressVPN and the channel's patrons for their support. To watch class early and get exclusive perks, sign up for Patreon via the link in the description. For other ways to support the channel and earn extra credit, like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're never late to class. Until next time, catch you later.